Other top story this morning, former Baltimore Ravens running back Ray Rice can start trying to plan his return to the field after a judge reinstated the disgraced NFL star. Now, Judge Barbara Jones, she ruled that NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell's initial punishment of a 2-game suspension was, quote, an abuse of discretion and also a failure on the part of the league.
Yeah, so Rice is cleared to play. The big question this morning, will any team be willing to pick him up and deal with perhaps the PR fallout down the line? And what does the judge's decision mean for Goodell's future? We're talking about all of this with sports attorney Domenic Romano, sports and entertainment public relations consultant Crystal Howard, and Brandon Robinson, sports writer for The Source magazine. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
I want to start with a story. So maybe a month or two ago, I'm in the supermarket, I'm shopping around, and a guy I talk to on occasion comes over to me and says, you know, this Ray Rice, he's getting a raw deal. The media is messing this guy over. The NFL is messing this guy over. He was punished. Now he's been punished again. This guy's getting a raw deal. Does the judge's ruling prove that he was absolutely right? Guys, what do you think?
Absolutely. I think that what she said makes entirely sense. She says it was an abuse of discretion, and it was such. Because if they've already set a standard, which he did early in August, of 6 games, he should have pulled it back and set that for Rice.
Dominic, you're the attorney. Talk about it.
But that does not excuse the original act, right? Sure. Rice himself has referred to it as inexcusable. So was he more credible in the eyes of the arbitrator than the commissioner? Absolutely. Was the commissioner arguably not competent in this particular instance? Well, draw your own conclusions. Between the lines there, that's the implication.
Brandon?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, a guy's got to support his family. I don't support domestic violence, but at the same time, when you have a young kid in a situation and you're losing, he had a base salary of $4 million. He can retroactively now go in and try to retrieve $3.25 million of that. I think at the end of the day, you still got to eat. You still got to feed your family. He was wrong as 2 left shoes.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So here's the question. Can he go back? I mean, this obviously removes all restrictions. So can he go back and play tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, it's a limited market, right? He can play. He's eligible to play. The decision vacates the punishment of an indefinite suspension. But which team is going to rise up and take him on now, considering the PR baggage?
Who's going to want to touch him, really? I mean, he's kind of like tainted for this year. I mean, he has to do a lot of he has to do a little mea culpa.
Absolutely.
And his wife is talking and doing part of the PR campaign right now as well. And there was a little thing going on where, you know, there's an exclusive interview on another morning show, which we won't talk about. But anyway, she actually said that she felt that the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell was absolutely wrong, that he kind of misled the situation. Your take on that? And do you think that Janae just should really kind of step up for her husband? Is that the PR game that needs to be played right now?
That's the PR game that they are playing. They've been shopping for a while to figure out who to talk to. Obviously, they broke first with Jamel Hill of ESPN late last week, and obviously they're going to continue down that road. She is going to have to be the hero here. People are going to have to buy into her.
Was she convincing on ESPN?
Well, it was a as told to story. It was on their .com site. I think it was telling. It was telling.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because you have these 4 teams supposedly talking to him, and then 2 have already come out. The Rams and the Colts.
That says
no. We don't want to touch this guy. So, but tell me, I mean, there are so many people like the guy I talked to, 2 months ago in the supermarket that feel like he got the raw deal. So you don't believe that there would be a sentiment, a part of the public that would stand behind him and say, look, he made a mistake. We want to go out. We want to support him. We want him to play again. You don't think that's out there?
If he continues on the path of not.
So he's not there yet in your mind?
He's not there yet. They'll eventually come back.
What are the hurdles? What are the hurdles that he's got to face? Go ahead.
A couple things. Number one, he's not in game shape. He hasn't played since the preseason. That's number one. He has stayed in shape. People that I spoke to last night were saying that he's been staying in shape, working out, and doing what he needs to do. The Colts came out today or yesterday and said that they wouldn't. I think other teams that could possibly look at him are the Cleveland Browns, who want to develop a running core, and as well as the Saints don't want to do it, from what I heard yesterday.
All right, so this season looks like it might not happen.
A playoff team would be interested. A playoff team that's looking for a power back, 28 in January. His numbers have gone down, but part of it was last year due to injury. But a team that's really looking to make a playoff
push. As time goes on, his chances increase of coming back. And he may have a claim against the Ravens for unpaid salary. So it might actually be in his interest to wait for the offseason. But we'll see. As we get closer to playoffs, teams are going to need some help.
I do want to ask a question about Roger Goodell. because, you know, you mentioned it. I mean, the judge more or less said, look, this guy messed up. This guy has bungled this whole thing. But when I look at the system, Goodell's not going anywhere, is he? He's going to be sticking around.
Because he serves at the pleasure of the owners. Right. And as long as the owners are happy with him, but you can best believe that there's going to be closer scrutiny on the NFL's disciplinary procedure and on Roger Goodell going forward.
Yeah, and the other thing is the NFL has made plenty of money. Their owners have made a ton of money. So Goodell being in after Paul Tagliabue left,
all right,
they're going to try to keep him.
But can I talk about the women, the largest growing demographic?
They're the most important.
Yes. So what does he have to do to basically say, you know what, I am sorry, and this will never happen again? Those statements or whatever, but actions speak louder than words.
It will come down to actions, and whatever team goes to sign Ray will have to be a part of that as well. Because otherwise, to Kori's point earlier, there's going to be that laundry list of people who are going to say, no, we don't want this guy to represent us in our community on a team.
Another team that I did hear had interest in is a team like the St. Louis Rams, who has dealt with, you know, certain situations like Michael Sam's, you know, being the first openly gay player in the NFL. So a team is going to have to go in and tackle that. A task force going in to make sure that their team is represented the right way, and Ray Rice has to be contrite.
And
similar to Michael Vick, Kobe Bryant, and situations like that.
And there's a lot of people that want redemption. There's a lot of people that want to see second chances, but there are other people that are saying that he has to pay the price, and domestic violence cannot be tolerated on or off the field. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining the conversation. And more information on Ray Rice's appeal, please go to our website at PIX11.com. There's so much more to the story, and it seems like it's going to go until he gets signed or doesn't.